Hey, I'm going mudding this weekend.
I have to study for the SAT.
Eat some fried chicken, y'all.
At least I don't make babies with my cousin. Hey, you don't say that.
Shut up! This is what really happened.
In the late 1700s, the North and South started to travel down different paths. Fueled by the Industrial Revolution, factories and large cities popped up all over the North. Trying to emulate the economic power that was Britain, the North focused on the construction of roads, canals, railroads, and more. In contrast, the South remained untouched by the industrial impacts that had changed the North. It remained tied to agriculture, but both regions had had a decrease in slavery. In the North, it was simply not economical. There was no reason to have slaves. The terrain was not meant for mass farming, and with all the factories, there was just no need for slave labor. In the South, the ground was still perfect for farming, but slaves were not worth it. Cotton was not worth the trouble. It took too long to produce and clean it, and one slave could barely clean 1 pound of cotton a day. It didn't make sense for Southern farmers to keep pursuing cotton. It was causing the Southern economy to die. However, that all changed in 1793 with Eli Whitney's invention of the cotton gin. This simple machine allowed one slave to go from cleaning 1 pound of cotton a day to 50 pounds. With this new technological advancement, slavery boomed, as did the economy. Cotton production was in great demand too due to the large amounts of northern textile mills. It quickly became the U.S.'s #1 crop. So, to keep up with the demands, plantation owners bought more slaves and expanded their fields with the white gold. The number of slaves jumped from 900,000 in 1790 to 4.5 million in 1860. All the changes in economy impacted the people and the lifestyles of the North and South. Ideas and beliefs were altered. The North had 3 key parts to their way of life: industry, religion, and education. Public education was major. It meant an educated workforce. This caused the U.S. to have one of the highest literacy rates in the world. The South was much the opposite. There was a lack of education in the South. They didn't see the importance of literacy when there was no reading involved in farming. The South felt a very strong connection to the land. They were stewards of the earth. They feared the crime, pollution, and corruption of the large cities. These different characteristics of the North and South caused the two regions to become individuals, but the biggest difference of them all was their opinions on slavery. Because of their religious background and their earlier lacking need of slavery, the North was driven toward a stance against slavery. They argued that it was unethical. The South was dependent of slavery. Their economy was so heavily tied to agriculture that if they were to stop slavery, their economy would collapse. Plantation owners could not maintain their production without slave labor, and they probably couldn't afford to pay laborers. These different paths heavily impacted the outcome of the Civil War. The North had access to more supplies and funding. They also had an educated army, in contrast to the South's chaotic, unschooled troops. Josiah Gorgas moved to Richmond and became Chief of Ordnance for the Confederacy with the rank of Major. Thanks to his efforts, the Southern armies never lacked weapons. In the North, Montgomery Meigs was the quartermaster general. He was the first one to appreciate the logistical preparations in modern military planning. Meigs was Grant's right-hand man for military decisions being made. Today, you can still see traces of the impacts of the Civil War. The North and the South are still two very different places. In the North, the foundation of education that was set so long ago still contributes to the Northern mentality. It changes the way public education runs. Northern schools don't even have the same tests as Southern schools. Take the SAT versus the ACT, for example. There is also the misunderstanding of the South in education. There is still a mentality that people in the South are still uneducated. There is also a political divide between the two regions, the South being more conservative while the North is more liberal. Religion has also shaped the two regions. The Bible Belt is strong and alive in the South, while in the North, religion has faded.
Fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we should probably head back.
Oh my gosh, so
What was that? Let's get back. Let's go. What is